Good morning, New Jersey. I'm your host, Liz Vaynerchuk Novello, and I am here today on this beautiful Saturday morning. New Jersey got slammed with so much snow this week. I think Baskin Ridge got 24 inches. There were more snow in other areas, and I'm excited to have you here today on Good Morning, New Jersey, with my special guest, Alexandra from Pretty Pink Rooster in Bernardsville, New Jersey.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Liz. Thank you so much for having me as a guest.
Good morning. Thank you so much. First of all, this week was a crazy week here in Jersey. Were you shut down during Monday's storm?
Oh, yeah. We were closed Monday and Tuesday. We had so much snow here. It was crazy.
Crazy. So anyway, we have known each other for some time, and I think I stumbled on your store a couple years ago when I was looking for a gift for a friend's birthday. Right. And you were actually at a different location. I went in on a Saturday, and I loved just walking around. It's a store that we don't have here in Bernardsville. And I found a gift for a friend, and all my girlfriends were talking about Pretty Pink Rooster. Right. And I just loved it because my dad loves roosters, and I just thought it was a cute spin with the pink. And then I believe we met the next time I came in to find a gift. Right. And you told me about your story, and we really connected on being two former teachers.
For sure.
So what I wanted to do today is to bring value to so many people who are watching. I think when you're a teacher, you're really told that there's security in the job, and both you and I loved doing what we did. I stayed home with my kids, but I also had other dreams. And when you're a teacher, you're told like your pension and, you have tenure, and why would you risk it all? And I just found it so inspiring for such a young woman to like make that leap, when security for so many is so important. So could you share with everybody how you started, why you started, and then we'll go from there?
Absolutely. So my story is very different from everybody's conventional career path. Like you said, I was a teacher for 10 years. I taught kindergarten, loved my job, but my passion has always been owning my own business. And I really looked up to my dad because he was a business owner as well. He owned his own financial firm in Bernardsville. And I always had that dream to have my own boutique. And he and I came up with the idea of having an affordable boutique in our area. And I lost my dad very suddenly before we could bring the store to life. So with that, it took me about 4 years to really move forward with our plan, because we really had everything laid out, the whole concept and the feel and the look. And then he died. So a part of me really died with him. And I threw myself into teaching. I did what I needed to do. I tutored, and I just kind of immersed myself in my job. But something it just kept coming back. What if I didn't do it? What if I'm 80 and I'm sitting there and I say, oh my gosh, wow, I just didn't,
the regret of trying.
Absolutely. And the regret of trying was bigger than the fear of moving forward into this unknown destination, coming from being a teacher, having that steady paycheck, to jumping off the leap and not really knowing what's going to happen. Sure. It's a big leap. So I wanted to start small. And what I did was I started online first. In 2014, I created the prettypinkrooster.com, and it was, such a journey to get there. I built my own website. I immersed myself in really kind of learning everything that I thought was, entrepreneur-like and business-like. I didn't have training in opening my own business. I listened to different speakers and podcasts and read a ton of books to just immerse myself in learning. And that being said, I built my own website and I rocked and rolled while I was.
Alexandra, sorry to interrupt. How did you build your own website? for anybody who's listening right now who may want to start a small business, how did you actually go about doing that? You read a book, but then what?
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot. I mean, it was like countless nights of watching tutorials on YouTube on like how to code the stuff and how to build the links. And, I worked through the platform Shopify, and that's where my website is based out of. So I was able to watch a ton of tutorials through their company on how to start your template and how to do all these things. And little by little, I curated what I wanted the Pretty Pink Rooster to look like via online.
Sure. Two things that come to mind. A, you were still a teacher. So did you start by kind of advertising to your teacher world and sphere?
For sure. So
were they your first customers? And like, obviously you and I share that we're super close with our families. Obviously, coming out and starting these products online, like I can imagine if I did that, my parents would buy as much inventory as they could for me. But, in the same regard, who were your first clients? What was that first purchase? Who was that number one purchaser?
Yep. Well, my number one purchaser was my boyfriend. He was the first one, sale number one. And
what did he buy and how much did he spend?
So he bought bracelet sets, and you know what? I don't remember how much he spent because all of my jewelry and accessories are under $50. That is my whole concept. You don't need to look, you don't need to spend a ton of money to look and feel great. So we have that price point available. And I started off with just jewelry. And then as my business grew and as I expanded, and my brick and mortar store grew, I started to offer clothing and accessories, and all of our clothing is under $200 as well, keeping that price point at an affordable rate.
Tell me how online started. What, from day one, how long did it take you? Because an online store to a brick and mortar is completely different. How long did it take you? What was those moments like when you actually have to pay a lease? Leases are expensive around here, right? So was the very first brick and mortar store where I went, above Bellissimo's hair salon?
Yes, that was my first space.
What year was that?
That was 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
And how long before were you just exclusively online? And was that still called Pretty Pink Rooster?
Yes. So Pretty Pink Rooster has always been Pretty Pink Rooster. I chose the name because my dad loved roosters, and we built this business together, and I wanted to honor my dad in some way. So like you said earlier, I'm very close to my family. I have 3 sisters. My mom and one of my sisters actually works for me. And we were all around the table one Sunday, and we were kicking back different names like, okay, we need to have daddy in this. How are we going to get it started? And my one sister said, Rooster. My other sister said, Pretty, we'll do something together. And Pretty Pink Rooster was born. And it took about 4.5, maybe 5 months for me to build my actual website.
Okay.
And I started 2014. We were officially open in 2014 virtually.
Yep.
I hustled online and did, social media posts, got very active on social media. I did pop-up parties. I had parties at people's homes to get my name out there. And my customers were, my students' parents and my family. And it was all word of mouth, really.
Sure.
And then it took 2 years. I was online solo on the side while I was teaching and tutoring. And then what happened was I decided in June of 2016, I said, this is it. I am packing my classroom up for the very last time, 10 full years. And I boxed everything up and I didn't look back. I said, I am going to find a property and I am making this dream a reality to a brick and mortar store.
So let's talk about this. Like when you leave the teaching job, obviously, we had crazy great insurance and you had steady pay. So at that time that you left teaching, you obviously were making enough money that you felt comfortable leaving, or were you still kind of borderline?
Well, the reason why I really wanted to secure what I had with my online sales, I wanted to build a basis. And I also was saving money throughout teaching. And I also cashed out my $13,000 savings from the school pension that they offered me. And it was taxed, most of it. And I said, what? I'm going big.
Wow.
And I took the leap. And you know what? I said to myself, this passion is too big for me to not act on it. And I know that Pretty Pink Rooster is going to help so many women in so many different ways that there was no option for me not to do it. I honor my dad every single day I walk into my store and I help my customers, because that's the dream that we had together. And nothing from COVID to, being that fear of closing, I was closed for 3 full months, and that was not going to crush my dreams,
Were you still doing online sales during COVID?
Oh yeah, big time. I pivoted within 24 hours. I closed March 16th, and it was the scariest time of my life, as everybody, not knowing what was going to happen, having a thriving business and growing online and growing and expanding in store, to have to shut down.
Right. Because how far before, because you took over the space right next door and were remodeling, how long before did you take over that space when COVID hit?
So I actually took the space over next door in this building in June. So it was after I was closed. We were closed March, April, May, and June. So we opened June 16th. So I was doing renovations while we were closed, and in between, delivering and trying to be there for my customers, because even though I was closed physically, I moved back to my roots online, and I hopped on my live video every day. 10:30, it's Pretty Pink Rooster TV on Instagram and Facebook. And I connected to my customers on so many different levels. With that anxiety and that fear, we all shared it together. We all went through it together. So it was huge.
What do you think's been the biggest challenge? Was that your biggest challenge, or was year one a big challenge for you?
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
I think that they were both challenges in their own ways. I look back at year one, and what I did was I started off small. I started off online, and then my first location was a little bit smaller than 800 square feet. It was tiny. I call it my little dollhouse. And that was such a learning curve for me, and it was learning how to order, learning how to, stock the store, how to curate the store. And I think there were a lot of lessons to be learned in that as well. But COVID that was a totally different component. They were both pretty heavy in their own way.
Can we talk about, one of the stories I love is that your original store being online, you had inventory in your parents' basement. Is that correct?
Yep. The basement. It was.
And that you guys were it was like a family escapade of tagging products with price tags. And can you speak of those? Do you look at those times as fond memories? Because now my kids are 11 and 7, and it feels like yesterday they were little, and those were such tough times and long days. But now I'm thinking back of the simplicity of them right now in COVID, they don't have activities, but as they get older, they have so many activities, so many new things.
Right.
I look back at those simple times when bedtime was super early. We had our little dinner. We had our little reading book. Do you look back to those basement days with your mom tagging stickers on products as fond memories that sometimes you wish you went back to those simple times? Or are you thank God those are over?
You know what? I totally look at that as a fond memory, because that shows the progress that I've made. The basement was my setup. I had these little drawers that I would put the jewelry in, because we were just jewelry. And I wrote down every single piece of jewelry's name, because I name all of my products. And I remember sitting down with my sisters, my mom, my boyfriend, and I, we were all had all the pieces scattered on the floor. And we used duct tape and masking tape as the masking tape, actually not duct tape, masking tape.
I was going to say duct tape is going to.
Yeah, that was not.
Yes, masking tape. I love it.
And that was the price tag. And I wrote it on like with a Sharpie, $12.99.
How did you know how to price it?
Well, that was part of that learning curve of, reading different books on having your own business and how to do those things. That's something that it was a process. I read tons of books. Like I love Marie Forleo and your brother's book. Amazing. Those were great guidance for me to pave the way and move forward as a business owner in a different way, because I never had a business. So I always say, like, you don't have to have that degree to follow your dreams and be an entrepreneur. I graduated with an art history degree. Right. I went back for my teaching degree. Same. I'm not doing either one of those right now, Right. So I would say go for it.
When did you know that you had that passion? Because I very early on, I knew I had a really solid sales ability when I worked at this baby clothing store in Flemington, New Jersey. Like I sold out of these monokini bathing suits. Nobody really in America ever puts their daughters in just the bottoms of a bathing suit, but I somehow sold them. And I think I was like 16 or 17. When did you know that this kind of piques my interest? I kind of like this.
So my dad, he came home one day. I was 16 years old. And we were all at the dinner table together. And he said, guess what, everybody? I bought a pet store from one of my clients. And my sisters, my mom, and I were like, hold the phone. Like, what are you talking about? And he goes, you girls are going to learn how to work and how to, earn your own money and talk to people and, help customers and all that stuff. And I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to deal with crickets and like mice. That's just not my vibe. And he laughed and he said, you'll do it. And sure enough, I worked at the pet store in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. And my dad taught me how to be a businesswoman at the age of 16. And I loved working with people. I loved being with them and helping them find the perfect gift, even if it was like a dog toy. And then that's when I really knew that that's a passion of mine. And I look back and I look back at that and I say, what a blessing that I had that time with my dad to really share how to follow your dreams. My dad was the quintessential, role model of that, to follow your dreams. He would tell my sisters and I all the time, you could do whatever you want to if you put your mind to it. And with tenacity and hard work, you plow through those fears and you move forward. And that's a message I say every day to myself.
I love that. And you talked about going on social media. Where do you think the biggest platforms, where did you start first? Was it Facebook? And then, because Instagram came later, where was the first place that you started showcasing your business?
So Facebook was the very first place. And then my sister Krista said, you got to get on Instagram. This is like rocking and rolling. This is a new thing. I said, oh, I don't know how to do that. So she actually set up my Instagram account. And like I said, it's a family affair, but Facebook is the first place that I went on.
I don't know. Are you guys on TikTok?
Yes.
You are on TikTok. Okay. So what do you think? TikTok or Instagram? What's your favorite?
Oh, that's hard. I personally prefer Instagram. My sister Monica loves TikTok.
Happy birthday, Monica. Because let's talk about Monica's little showcase of, was it PJ Salvage pajamas from the Golden Girls, or is that a different brand?
No, different brand.
Tell us about that little tidbit that Monica, since it's her birthday today, we'll give her a shout out.
Well, I'm actually going to repost that just as a throwback for today because it's an extra special video. So Monica is, I'm the oldest and Monica's next. And I'm the typical type A child. Monica loves to make people laugh. That is her thing. And during COVID, she called me up and said, Alexandra, you go live every day at 10:30. I'm going to do something. So I said, what are we going to do here? I knew we're in for a treat because everything she does is hysterical. She'll make little cameos. So she said, meet me at the store and the rest is history. So I came to the store and I see her with this box and I'm like, what are you doing? And she goes, this is my wig. And we were selling pajamas from Bedhead pajamas, and they featured Golden Girls print, which it was adorable. Okay. So Monica put the Golden Girls pajamas on and she lip synced to the theme song of Golden Girls, dressed as Sophia.
So good.
And, one of the news channels picked it up as a feel-good story. And it was hysterical. And Monica,
it was so good. I loved it.
Thank you. She made so many people laugh during such a scary and sad time. So that was really exciting for her to do,
And so, kind of to talk about, you've done this. What do you think's been the biggest mistake you've done in your business, maybe in the early days?
Biggest mistake. That's a good question. I feel like we all make mistakes, and that's where you get such lessons and you learn so many different things. And I think one of the biggest mistakes early on, and I'm talking like online days.
Yes.
I over ordered and I was still learning how to order. And at that time, I will never forget this. This is one of those memories that I'm like, oh goodness.
Let's stay with you. What did you over order on?
I over ordered necklaces. So I had all the necklaces on the floor. And at that time I bought 10 pieces of each necklace. And I remember going, oh my gosh, like I have 10 pieces of each necklace and I spent all this money and I'm so scared. Like, what if it doesn't sell? What if the people don't buy it? Because do I have that many customers?
Right.
10 pieces, it was like, and I was so scared. And I remember saying to myself, okay, Alexandra, this is a lesson. I can go back and say, the necklaces, no worries. We could kind of push it through to the next collection if it doesn't sell. So I think that was one of the biggest lessons, is learning how to order correctly when you're at that beginning stage, because you don't want to order too much because then you're sitting on the inventory. So it's like a recipe. You have to learn how to sprinkle in like all these little things to find that perfect solution and that perfect cake,
Why Bernardsville? Why did you choose, like, you grew up in Basking Ridge, correct?
Yes.
So it was just a given that you wanted to be local, or what made you push for Bernardsville?
Well, I have very deep roots in Bernardsville. My grandmother was born there, and my great-grandfather was a business owner here in Bernardsville. Wow. And my dad opened his first financial firm in Bernardsville. So I'm actually a third-generation business owner in Bernardsville.
Amazing.
And, my family has been in Bernardsville for over 100 years.
Amazing.
It was like a no-brainer for me.
So you were born and raised a Jersey girl.
Absolutely.
What do you think that we could share, that you can share with the audience? We have Betsy here. Thanks, Betsy, and Chef Lizette and Kat, and also Barry. Nice to see you. And Karen, thank you for tuning in. Jenna, you're the best. Louise, thank you for always supporting. Ida, what can we tell Michelle in the house? What can we tell the audience that may not know Jersey? I think Jersey gets a bad rap, and part of me wanting to showcase businesses and people of New Jersey is that I love where I live. I think we have beautiful communities here in New Jersey, and people just think maybe of the airport that they drove by. But, I think that sharing a little tidbit of maybe something Jersey. Why Jersey? What do you love about Jersey?
So I love our state. There's so much to offer here. My favorite spot to go is Ocean City, New Jersey. It is just my happy place, and it is.
Tell me why.
It's the most beautiful beach ever. It's quiet. It is a family-oriented town, and my family had a house there for many years. So I have so many memories of going down to Ocean City and going on the boardwalk and being with my cousins and being with my sisters and my mom and my dad. And it's just such a great spot. So we have so much to offer in our state, and there's just little towns and little restaurants and little shops, and I love it.
Let's do, since you're a Jersey girl, let's do a rapid fire round with some Jersey questions, maybe to to spice this up, and then I would love a tour of your shop. So, first one, and we've never talked about this. Are you a Jets or a Giants fan?
Ooh.
Are you either fan?
Well, right now, so I'm typically a Giants fan, but
I knew you were going to say that.
they're not so good.
Well, I'm a Jets fan, so we can discuss that. Turnpike or Parkway?
Parkway.
Yeah, I would agree. How about 78 or 287?
287.
Yes. Bon Jovi or Bruce Springsteen?
Bon Jovi.
There you go. Housewives or Jersey Boys?
Ooh.
I know.
That's a tough one. I think Housewives. It's always fun to watch.
I think I asked you this before. Jersey tomatoes or Jersey corn?
Corn.
Awesome.
My brother-in-law does corn, so I mean that's
what? Tell me about your brother-in-law. What do you mean he does corn?
Well, I know that sounds weird. So he has a farm in Warren County, and he farms soybeans and sweet corn. So,
oh my goodness. Well, where is his place exactly? Give a shout out to
Warren. It's in Warren County.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Show us your shop.
Yes. Okay. So I have to put a mask on because I don't know if people are out there. So we gotta.
Guys, I've got my mask from Pretty Pink Rooster. They're my favorite ones because you carry like fully cotton ones, and I have a deviated septum on both sides. I don't and I'm like, I can barely breathe. So I'm like, I need those cotton ones.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So here we go. All right. So this is actually my space right now that I took over in June. And let me see how I can do this without.
It's okay. Alexandra always uses her phone. So she's on her laptop, I think, today.
Yeah, I'm in the laptop, so this is a little awkward.
No worries. Do your best.
No one's in here, so I could take this thing off. Okay, so we've got this area is our cozy, comfy spot. We have all of our candles showcased. We carry Valespa candles, beautiful, beautiful jars, all hand poured in the USA, which is awesome. And we have our great bedhead pajamas, PJ Salvage loungewear, which is like the bomb.com right now. Everybody's getting cozy, and this is all where it's at. So this is like our little section. Oh my God, I'm really bad at this. Jeez.
No worries. I love it.
Yeah. So this is the area that I took over during COVID in June. And now we're going to go over to the main spot here. Oh my gosh, why am I having such a hard time with this?
No worries. I'm all about it.
Okay, so this is our main area. We have our entranceway, and this is where we carry all of our jewelry and accessories. Maybe that's a little better.
There we go.
There we go. All right, perfect. And hopefully you're getting like the vibe here because this is super hard to do with the laptop.
Okay. I'm thinking you're doing amazing. That's usually where I go. Jenna was on before she was on. I got her a bracelet set there.
Oh, nice.
In that room.
Yeah, this is the jewelry room. I call it the gray room because it has all gray accents. And you know what? It's all really about the experience and not the expense when you're coming to the Pretty Pink Rooster. I wanted to give women that spot where they can just feel like they're at a retreat. You know, we've got our soothing music playing. We've got so many different things rolling out. We change our inventory all the time. I don't restock my items. I like to keep it fresh. And everything that is in the store is on my website, theprettypinkrooster.com. We're offering complimentary shipping nationwide on all orders. And if you're in the area, you can also do that same day local delivery if you're like not ready to come in yet. So, you know, we've got that curbside pickup, kind of like we're all over the place with trying to cater to our customers.
And tell everybody exciting news that you're going to generously share with the audience today.
So excited because you know what, guys, we've all been through crazy times this past year, and it's Valentine's Day. It's my birthday month. It's my sister's birthday month. And it's time to like kind of lean into that self-love. So if you shop online on our website, prettypinkrooster.com, you can enter the code And are you going to put the code down or do you want me to say
Yeah,
it?
I think Dustin's got us.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead. You could tell us.
So do GMNJ at checkout, and then you'll get 10% off of your entire purchase for the entire month of February. So we're making this a self-love month. Do something nice for yourself. Treat yourself.
Check out that code GMNJ for 10% off. Alexandra, thank you so much for being generous, and thank you for coming on the show and our friendship, because really I think we connected because I went to your store and then you just had such a crazy great online presence and we're always supporting each other. So I so appreciate it. Please go check out the Pretty Pink Rooster. She's right in Bernardsville, New Jersey. You can't miss it because she has a humongous pink rooster right outside.
Hold on, let's show
to show us the pink rooster, guys.
There
it is. So you can't miss it. Can't miss it. Thank you so much for coming on and for joining us on this Saturday of Good Morning New Jersey. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Liz. Thanks.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks so much.